Good morning, Macedonia. As we prepare for Black history, in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, shortly before the Israelites entered into the promised land, Moses reminded them of the importance of remembering their past. You see, Moses knew firsthand that our history helps us to shape who we are. Therefore, he was intentional in making sure that they remembered how God miraculously delivered them from slavery into Egypt. Listen to Moses' warning. Just make sure you stay alert. Keep close watch over yourselves. Don't forget anything of what you've seen. Don't let your heart wander off. Stay vigilant as long as you live. Teach what you've seen and heard to your children and grandchildren. Just like the Israelites, we too have a story to tell. It is a heart-wrenching story of slavery in the land of the free. Yet it is a heartfelt story in which God heard our prayers and rescued us from our bondage. Therefore, we have an obligation to make sure our narratives are passed on to future generations. So during Black History Month, our young people will take the mantle of storytellers to remind us that there is something we can all do to keep shining a light on history. Let's watch as they encourage us to go out and tell our story.
Your sons, make them hear you. Oh, you got to make them hear you. And tell them in our struggles, you are not the only one. Make them
Grandma, where are you?
I'm over here, baby. What's up?
What boxes? Spring cleaning already?
No, Grandma's just getting ready for Black History Month. You want to come over here and help me out?
Sure, but what's to get ready? And what are all these boxes and pictures for?
Well, maybe you heard that they opened up the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
What now?
Okay, the one in Washington, D.C. You know where Barack Obama used to live?
I know where that's at, but I don't know.
You know what it's called the Smithsonian.
I think so. We
Okay.
sort of talked about it a little bit in school.
We got to work on that school, that education. Well, let me tell you that the African American Museum is some big news. You know that, right? Yeah? Well, people are waiting in line at 3 a.m.
3 a.m.?
Yes. People in line at 3 a.m. just to get inside. And when they get inside, they don't want to leave. They're in there for 5, 6, 7 hours. And that gave Grandma an idea, Grandma gonna open up her own museum right here. I got a lot of artifacts and I buy a lot of junk, so I might as well make a museum. And I want you to come look at some of this stuff, okay?
Grandma, how do we start celebrating Black History Month in the first place?
Well, that's a good idea because a lot of y'all don't know about that anyways. See, first there was the Negro Week, History Week, okay? And then that's in February because Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass's birthday is in February. Not because we got the shortest month. It's not because of that. But it's because of some birthdays, okay? And then in 1976 is when we got the month. It became a national month-long celebration, and that's how we got Black History Month.
Grandma, a lot of people, even some of my friends, don't think history is important. They think it's just a lot of dates and facts that don't have anything to do with today.
Well, sadly, baby, I'm really not surprised. You see, a lot of the African Americans that helped forge this nation's identity are unknown or forgotten. So that's, how our history is typically ignored. And a lot of times our history is even suppressed. But just like a tree has roots so it can grow tall, our history is our foundation. And our history starts with our identity. And so to explain identity, we have to be the custodians of our culture. And when we're the custodians of our culture, we can tell people what our history is about. See, we have to make sure that we tell the younger generation that they need to shine a light on the unknown and the forgotten African Americans that helped forge this country. So, you know, we have to talk about pioneers that are in every field. Pioneers like these people.
Barrier-breaking baseball great Hank Aaron. Crusading journalist Ida B. Wells Barnett. Renowned inventor George Washington Carver. Astronaut Guillaume Bluford, the first African American to go into space.
Yes, and then, baby, we also got to talk about these people.
Freedom fighters like Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery and became a leader of the Underground Railroad. W.E.B. Du Bois, the first African American to receive a Ph.D. from Harvard University and a tireless champion of African descent. And civil rights icon Rosa Parks, whose name is synonymous with dignity and courage.
You know, just like your grandma, you know, just like your grandma, dignity and courage.
And I'll have to tell my children about the true legacy of President Barack and First Lady Michelle Obama. Right, Grandma?
That's right. Because, you know, people like to change history with their alternative facts. So we need to make sure that they get our history right. But when we do that, we have to talk about the government leaders that came before Barack Obama and that led him to be the president of the United States. And, you know, the past few 8 years, I don't know what we got now, but, you know. But we have to also talk about some other people as well. These government leaders that helped him got there.
Alexander Twilight, the first known African-American graduate of a U.S. college and the first elected to statewide office. U.S. Senator Hiram Rhodes Revels, the first African-American elected to Congress. And U.S. Representative Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American major party candidate to run for president. She ran for president?
She wasn't the first woman. She was the first woman before Hillary to run for president. They don't mention that, though, in their history. But we're gonna let them know about ours. So, you know, Grandma been talking about looking at these celebrities. You look at them on the, what's that, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the
Grandma,
Snapchat.
Twitter, Snapchat, I'm impressed.
Impressed, girl? Why? Grandma is hit to the game. I ain't old now. I got like 2,000 followers on my Instagram. But since we talking about celebrities, I want you to know that Beyonce wasn't the first celebrity. You know, in order for her to get where she's at, it took other artists to break barriers and bounds for her to be the queen bee. You know, Beyonce.
Artistic visionaries like Toni Morrison, the first African-American winner of a Nobel Prize in Literature. Singer, songwriter, and pianist Nat King Cole, the first African-American to host a national television program. NBC's The Nat King Cole Show. We watched that on YouTube.
That's right. And then we also have the film director, Oscar Michel. You see, he was the first Spike Lee, but they don't talk about him too much, despite his many contributions to film. See, most people never heard of him. I know a lot of y'all ain't heard of him either. But let me tell you about him. He was regarded as the first major African-American feature filmmaker. See, he talked about topics that dealt with lynching, job discrimination, and even mob violence. So when you run into those people who ask you why African-American history is so important, you tell them this, that Black history is a reminder of our triumph and our determination. See, Black history gives us an equal view, a clearer view of America through the lens of African-American history and culture. We can't forget that, okay? So I want you to go out and let them know. I want you to tell them about our stories. But you have to tell it in such a way that they hear you. You know, that they hear what you're talking about, that they hear our triumphs and our discrimination, that they hear everything that we've gone through to make it here. Because everything that we've done as African Americans has enriched every American's life here in America.
Amen. I know. I get a little passionate. I might sound a little preachy. But I want you and your friends to learn firsthand the contributions that African Americans have made right here in America. Grandma, you know I like helping you set all this up in your sunroom.
Why you like helping me?
Because we don't have to wait in line at 3 a.m. in the morning. We can come see it most anytime we want.
That's true. And if we gonna do that, then you need to help me get some boxes out the ladder, because the way my knees is working ain't gonna work with that ladder. So I need to get up there, help me out, and let's get this together, because it's already the 5th or something like that. We behind.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get to it.
All right.
Make them hear you. Make them hear you.
We want to invite you after service to come over to Elias Hall. Sister Rose Washington, who's a member of this church, has actually set up a Black History display of her artifacts that are over in Elias Hall. So we encourage you to come see that after church. God bless you.